And welcome back to Reaction Time Podcast. This is now DUOLANE as we move further into this year and it gets closer and closer to us having one of our triumvirate occupied with a new full-time job on top of full-time job scenario for approximately a few weeks or months. So here we are. It's Steven and Eric here, and we're doing something a bit different this time, where we had our missing member come up with a list of this or that style questions for us to go through. So let's start the train running with something spicy. All right, Steven, more likely to make a significant roster change before next split. Is it Schalke or 100T?
I think 100T, hands down, is going to do the same thing that they always do. It might be just a management issue, but I think like 100 Thieves as a company just makes changes, like shakes things up radically to try to get things done. And man, his name is escaping me. The Call of Duty player that owns 100 Thieves. Nadeshot, right? I think he's kind of this is me being very presumptuous, but like I think he's kind of like we'll fix it with money, we'll fix it with people, like just get him in there and make it, like, get the win so I can sell merch, like which I don't blame him. Like, he's a brand guy. You can tell. Does he even play League?
He's played a couple times on streamed things to like make money on YouTube.
Yeah. So
he's much better at Valorant, as it's also an FPS.
The shoot a man game, and
yeah.
I think Schalke was just hitting like a stride. I kind of think, but maybe that's my opinion.
Well, I'm also going to go with 100 Thieves here. I like hearing from Dylan Falco in some interviews after their series, like he was pretty pleased with where they ended up, and it was just an unfortunate series versus Rogue that cut them short. And no one on their team looked weak in playoffs. They all actually looked very good for the most part. When Gilius looks like the weak link on your team, that's a good place to be.
Yes.
In League of Legends. However, I guess, you know what? Actually, I'm going with Schalke, because when Gilius looks like the weak link, you know what happens? Teams bring in Kickiss. So I'm going with Schalke to make the significant shift in between splits, and it's going to be in jungle. Let's see what happens. All right. Most likely to win the split, Team Liquid or G2?
Ooh. Most likely. See, it's just going off of like statistics, like G2 is more likely. Like TL's going to win, but G2 is more likely. They might lose it. I don't know. I'm not confident in them.
Who's going to win? How about we just go with who's going to win?
Who's going to win? TL, baby. Easy.
All right. I'll go with G2. G2's going to win. TL's going to choke versus Cloud9 in the finals. We'll see which of us is eating pie.
Yeah. I will say.
All right.
Let Jensen be confident on his champ picks. Putting him on Sad Boy Seraphine. Big sorrow.
So, now we've got a whole section here on who would you rather build a team around. So this is going to be like a list of players, and then we see which set of these would we like to build a roster around. So first bullet point is Armut and Elioya, the new pair for top side of the map for Mad Lions, or Blabber and Fudge, the top side of the map for Cloud9.
Wide Armut and Elioya. Like, I think that has a higher skill ceiling just in general. I think Blabber is peaked. Like, he's not going to suddenly get better with a team around him. And I think Fudge has found a place, but it's not really a great place. He's not someone that you build around. He's filling a void, and he might improve, but I don't think it's worth building a team around.
That's fair. I'm still going to go with Blabber and Fudge, because if we're talking about building a roster, I'd prefer to build a roster in NA, where it seems easier to win to me as an individual. And then I have 3 open import slots for building my winning roster in NA. That's kind of my stance. Elyoya has been a rock star at this split though, and it's been really cool watching them kick ass in playoffs.
Yes.
All right, next one. And let's pretend from now on that we're building generic fantasy roster where import rules are no longer applied. So it's just like what duo you would want to build around. Next one is Lost and Sword Art, or Hansama and Trimby.
You go first this time.
Well, I would definitely take Lost in Sword Art here. I would always build around Sword Art as an option before building around rookie players straight from EU Masters, even if in general I'm a fan of LEC over LCS. And Sword Art showed up in playoffs for them in this 100 Thieves series, even though you could view it as 100 Thieves like dropping the ball more than TSM like throwing it. Sword Art knows how to catch drop balls. That is like one of the things that he is very good at doing. And I will take veteran experience and leadership from the support role.
Man, I like Hansama Trimby though. Like you spoke his praises way back before he was even like a real player, and I think Hansama is just like a fun like person to build around, and so I think like that would be more of a puzzle to crack, and where I think you get like really good reward. Where like Sword Art, like you put your money there, like you add him to a really good team. You don't build around him. Like he still has to have good people around him, and more or less you can look at like Core JJ or something like that. Like they are a good puzzle piece, but they're not the head of Exodia. Like it doesn't work like that.
All right, important follow-up question since you went with the Hansama roster. What color logo and brand do you go with for your roster for Hansama to dye his hair that color?
Ooh, outside of the red? Because he's on
he's
Misfits
got
right now, right?
Purple Rogue right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Purple Rogue.
So, yeah. So, like, what color would your team's logo or brand go with so that Hansama would dye his hair that color?
Oh, neon green. Easy.
Neon green?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. So if you want to see Hansama dye his hair neon green next, fund the Funky Games eventual LEC League expansion roster, and we'll make it happen.
Easy.
All right, and then the last in this, would you go with Larson or Jensen to build around for a roster?
Jensen. I think Larson, he does well, but man, I don't know. I think, does he tilt? Or does he just get I think they both have like the unconfidence issue that drives me up a wall.
I'm also going with Jensen, and it's because I don't like Azir, Orianna, 2 tricks as a general concept. So I prefer for people who can play things that aren't locked into Azir Corki meta, and like it really feels like Larson has a hard time growing beyond that benchmark. So we'll go with Jensen, even if recently his form isn't quite on the same level.
And it grinds my gears so much that he was locking Vigar mid. His Ari looks good. Just let him pick what he wants to pick. Put him on Seraphine, make me mad. Even though he won one, it's just like a shaken confidence thing. And just let him play the game.
All right, Steven. Was this a sleeper pick from you into this list? Better pick in pro play. Sejuani top or Nocturne top?
Sejuani top. Easy. Because Nocturne is so much better in jungle or mid, not top.
I'm going to fight you on this one.
Let's
Nocturne
go.
top all the way. Like, being able to take, first off, an 80 top laner so you can pick an AP jungler to combo with it, and giving your team, like, long rage engage that actually works against Tristana is where I'm going to go with in this meta. Because as a Tristana trick, let me tell you that Sejuani ult is easy to just get away from.
Yeah, but everyone else dies. Especially like so can we put them in a lane against one another?
Oh, that would be interesting. We should try that sometime.
Yes.
That'll be a new stream event coming soon. The Sejuani versus Nocturne top lane fight.
Let's see how it goes.
We'll let you know how it goes. Yeah.
Man, to do some 5 customs again, that'd be that's like the old school days.
All right. Into upcoming game predictions. Genji or Damwon Kia, who you got in next round of LCK playoffs?
Damwon.
Damwon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're both going Damwon here.
Yeah. They had to bribe Naylor to get like.
Yeah, yeah. Even though Genji did have the convincing 3 over SKT, I still think that this is going to be yet another convincing 3-0 in the final. We'll see if Genji somehow surprises us with some new spicy tricks or something. Next one is interesting. It's EDG or FPX in the winners bracket of the LPL playoffs coming up here. EDG just off of a convincing 3-0 series over top Esports, and FPX with a convincing 3-0 over JDG.
FPX. I think they're going to bust out
FPX.
some clown stuff, and EDG is going to be like, well, it happened.
I'm going to go with EDG because when I'm thinking carries in this meta, I'm thinking bot lane, and that means Viper for me. And I'm taking Viper over LWX in this head-to-head. Also, the fact that the Dark technology was more like the Dank technology in this set, as he just played Orianna like straight through in that best of 3 until game 3 when he played Karma. So DUOLANE has been playing the obnoxious stuff, not Kledmid, even though it was banned against him in like basically every round too. So I'm going with EDG here. I don't think that DUOLANE is going to pull out the Dark Tech in this series. Let's see, and then next one in the losers bracket for LPL, we have RNG versus Top Esports.
RNG.
RNG. You're going with the Xiaohu team?
Yeah, the spirits are telling me RNG will rise again.
All right, we'll see how it goes. I'm going with Top Esports. Jackie Love and Knight might have gotten like outskilled by Scout and Viper, but I don't think that's going to happen with current form of Crying and Gala. RNG looks like they have problems in a best of 5, and I'm curious to see if with a teamless study has a chance of just really showing them up yet again. Next off, we have the losers bracket before the final in LCS. It's TSM or Team Liquid. Who you got, Steven?
TL, baby, easy. Easy. Let's go.
All right. I'm going with TSM. I think that TSM's going to let Tristana through pick ban every game, and they're going to keep giving it to Tactical, and he's going to continue to malfight ult, and it's going to go very badly. That's my stance. I'm sticking to it. TL might need to start banning Tristana on red side, which is a terrible place to be in this metagame.
Or Jensen can play it. I don't know.
And we have G2 versus Rogue in the losers bracket of LEC. What are you thinking?
Rogue. Let's go for the memes.
Okay, you're going memes?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is going to give them the edge in this?
G2 themselves.
All right, that's a fair assessment. I'm going with G2 because a rumor has told me that Wonder has uninstalled Warcraft, and so that's like the running thing because he's looked out of form. If you stopped WoW for the moment, I think that means that we're in a good spot for G2 to finally start winning matchups in top lane, which they have not done yet this playoffs run. So poor Odoamne, his tragic run continues as he's going to be the one who has to deal with Nico top in this next series. That's what I'm guessing is going to happen, but we'll have to see what happens this weekend. And then the last of the matchups, only this one's not actually in the playoff race. Who you got between the battle of the winners bracket, Mad Lions or C9? Who would win?
Oh. Mad Lions. I think it has to be Mad Lions. I don't think Fudge can play.
You don't think Fudge can play against Armut? That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the first time I'm siding with LCS all season. Get ready for it because I'm picking C9 in the head-to-head. I think Perkovich is going to show up and is going to, like, punish all of their nonsense team fights that Elyoya's been bailing them out of. And they're not going to pick hard CC, and he's going to lock in Yone in 4-5 like he always does and out team fight them. And Blabber is going to run over top side of the map because Elyoya hasn't actually had a jungle contest yet in this playoff bracket, in my opinion. So let's go. Cloud9 I'm picking. Good thing it doesn't matter.
It could happen at MSI. It won't,
It
because
could.
TL
We
will
could
go.
see them
It
at
won't matter.
MSI. That would be really sick. That would involve G2 not winning LEC for the first time in a number of years. But we'll find out. So speaking of MSI, this actually has nothing to do with MSI, but if you were going to go to Iceland, you should bring a wonderful piece of funky merchandise with you. Check
Not
out
this one,
the
though. This is
Funky
mine.
Linktree, funky.store, which is in the description, and get some cool swag. I hear there's new loot available on the Funky store, Steven.
It's coming. It's coming. New loot. I'm hoping it's koozies. I think there's gonna be some vintage looking koozies, and there might be stickers coming up. Who knows?
Ooh, shiny stickers. All right. Okay, so better one for all meme first blood, Steven. So I know that one for all is in fact the format of all the memes. So for the first blood, what you have, it's 5 scions in a bush, or it's the Blitzcrank grab chain. What do you got?
Scions. It has to be the scions.
I'm going to side with the scions too on this one, mainly because it takes too many tries to actually execute the Blitzcrank grab chain successfully. All it takes is Steven pressing Q at the same time as you, and your hopes and dreams are ruined. Yeah, I'm going to go with the 5 scions in this one. Although the winner in my heart is always first turret take, first minute trundle 5-man mid. But like we'll have to see how the contest goes for that later.
Wait, does Frozen Domain stack, or is it just extending
Yeah.
it? Oh,
it
my
stacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So better EU Braum. Is it Mickey or is it Yankos on G2?
Yankos, easy. I don't know why they let him play anything else.
Yeah. Like funnel mid meta again when force Yankos back into his best champion. Let's see how it goes. All right. Better mythic item on Twisted Fate, Steven. What you got? Everfrost or Shirelias?
Shirelias. You gotta go fast. You gotta throw them gold
Gotta go
cards.
fast?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Everfrost right now because I never lock in gold card, and so having an actual CC ability that works is very convenient. All right, so that's that for our
new segment.
New segment here in reaction time. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments. Feel free to submit your own this or that style questions below or on Twitter. That's Ireland and with a 3, and I'm Shreds to Raptor. Let us know what you want to hear us debate about next time, and we'll see how it goes. So other than that, Steven, how is your feeling for games this weekend? Did you feel joy in your heart?
TL's got to bring it, or I won't feel any more joy forever and ever again. I can't believe they didn't beat Cloud9.
We'll see how this matchup goes. Like, Huni's coming into form here at a dangerous point for
I
this
don't like
series.
it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's IMT Huni is showing up and he'll lock in some banana sandwich stuff and
See, this goes into the Nocturne top lane because he started to not feed as much on that pick, and that is the Huni style nonsense. So if he can pick this uncontested and not feed, like it's putting us in a very dangerous spot where here Alfari might get up like 20, 30 CS in lane, but then Huni still ults the backline and has a crowd control score of 115 in the match for no reason. And then suddenly we have another game or series on our hands.
Better not. I need a 3-0
Yeah.
clap, easy. I don't want any sleepy Jensens. I don't want to see limp liquid. I want to see big, girthy horse meat coming through and taking out TSM, and no problem.
All right. We'll see how that one goes. Any thoughts from the LEC side? We had some spicy games last week with Schalke taking out Fnatic and then getting beaten by Rogue. Which, as like I talked about how Dylan Falco had some interviews this past week, is like a crazy set to have to go through as a team, because on one side of the matchup you have Fnatic, all in, super aggressive, except for Upset, who doesn't do anything as a KDA player. And then you have Rogue, who is like very controlled, practiced. They have to know this comp in and out, or they completely flub a series against a team in winner's side. And then it showed where like they had a very good strategy for dealing with Fnatic. And then they came up against Rogue, who had adjusted after getting knocked out of winner's side of the bracket, and then struggled. So, like, what do you think of like this, like of like Schalke's journey in these matches? And then like we already talked a bit about Rogue versus G2, but like how strong do you think these teams are as they're prepping for their resurgence? Like going into this, like how much does Mad Lions have to care about any of these teams heading into the upper bracket run?
Yeah, this is what always trips me up about LEC, like finals. Like finals plays so different than regular. Like LEC in best of is just weird. Like there's teams that just look better in best ofs, and like G2 has been one of them that can just dominate a hole, then drop a couple best ofs and but still win. It's real roller coaster shit. And then Schalke can look terrible, and then great, and then terrible, and then okay, and then you give them a pass. So it's just like this weird mentality, and I think there's a lot of personality on these teams, and I think that's what it's really going to boil down to is like, can you rein in yourself and play the game? Because I mean, like, think of Shadow on like the best stage and just choke sandwich. It's just so weird after him being so dominant. And I cannot believe G2 went to the losers bracket again. Like, it's just, I said it, like, they can't do that this time because they need to be, if they want to win Worlds, they need to be this dominant force. And now this is in question again. Are they the best team? No, they're not. So I think Mad Lions has to worry, but they have to play the game. But then the other teams do too. So I don't know. It's so hard to tell, like, are they good? Because they could go to MSI and look like clowns.
Yeah. So I have this theory, like from watching playoffs, not just in LEC, but like globally with this, where it really feels to me like this meta and this split has been this weird thing where rosters have spent a week of practice going into these matches, developing a single strategy and a single comp, and then they play it in games 1 and 2 of these best of fives. And then if their one thing that they practiced in that week works, they look okay. But a lot of the times it hasn't been. Like, so if they've picked any like non-meta thing or prepped any strategy red side that isn't meta, they lose games 1 and 2 playing the exact same game plan without adjusting. And it's really shown and gotten teams really punished. Like the G2 Mad Lion series, they played this Karma flex to bot lane while putting Wonder on a losing top lane matchup and playing the AD carry in mid lane, and it looked good, but it was clearly like their main thing that they had practiced, and it cost them 2 games in the series instead of like 1 and then a pivot to a different game plan. So it really feels like teams are much more invested in like their single strat specifically this playoffs than they have been recently, where they're unwilling to adjust after that first loss. It takes them 2. And taking 2 losses is very brutal in these best of 5s, because after you lose the first 2, you pivot strategies for game 3. And if you get the win, then you have to win on both sides of the map in the 3 games that follow with strats in order to take off the win, which means you have to have not 1, but 2 winning strats prepared in order to do this that aren't your A game. Like you used your A game in games 1 and 2 and got wrecked. And that's very dangerous for these rosters that I'm seeing this happen to, because it makes it very hard to adjust. And so I'm wondering, like, is there something about practice because of COVID, or because like it's the return after COVID that's causing this, or just like some general thing with this meta game where people are having a hard time figuring out how to build in it yet, that makes it to where this is happening. Because like I called out like the G2, Fnatic ran into this. That was a part of their losses. We saw it from TSM and 100 Thieves in the NA side. And it's looking pretty scary. So like we'll like take a look out for that as we go into like these next rounds of when teams like kind of run it back stylistically for game 2 in these best ofs after taking the loss, and seeing how they adjust, because it doesn't look like teams have been adjusting enough after their comp or strat loses.
And this is why you need deeper rosters. You got to be able to put in the 6th man. I think this is the best argument I've ever heard for where's your 6th man, to change it up and have like 2 A games with a different strategy, like do the assassin and utility mage, do the winning or losing top lane. Like there's options there, and I really hope that your assessment is seen by the scene, and they're like, oh, like here's a solution for that. We have deep rosters, like the academy scenes have looked decent, where you might be willing to pull, like in the first game, put your academy top laner in with a different strat, and then if you pick up a win, do it again and force the ban, and maybe even pick up 2 wins, and then switch to your cinch laner or whatever. Like that's an option that's not being tapped.
Okay. Well, that's it this time for DUOLANE. We hope you enjoyed. Let us know the new format in comments or on Twitter. And we'll talk to you again either next week or the week after, depending on how things go, and if Steven needs to recover after another TL series.
Yeah. We're going to win. Easy. Let's go.